think that you've all probably noticed the feeling of friendship, of brotherhood, and the spirit of unity building up among us. Haven't you started to make friends and acquaintances that you want to remember, that you want to keep with you? Well, that's the spirit that we want to foster here. And my speech today is entitled Testing 1, 2. I can count to 3, sir. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. I'm not very good with these things. One thing is they hinder me. I move around a lot when I speak. I've been told that I have a lot of energy. And I feel like I'm being chained when I put this thing on. My speech today is your family, your nation, and your police state. Being friends with people and having a family is very important. I'm often asked by people over and over again, what can I do? What can I do? People hear about the things that I do because I'm somewhat notorious. That's fine with me. I'm from time to time seen on the stage of life. And people come and they want to know what they could do. What can I do, Lewis? How can I help? Well, that's the first part of my speech today. Your family. Your family. The most important thing I believe that any man and woman in America can do today is to raise up little children who become strong, healthy adults. I do not believe there is anything you can do more important than that one thing. So often I have seen in times past strong patriots whose children did not believe like they believed, and in fact turned the other way. Who they were disappointed in and worried about and were concerned because of the life that they were building for themselves. So to you parents and to you grandparents, because you can have an influence too, believe me, I know the influence grandparents have. To you parents and grandparents, and to friends of those who have children, and that should include all of us at this point, seek to foster upon those children a sense of purpose in life, a reason for living. Give them something to believe in. And when you do that, you give them something to stand for, and you give them something to fight for. It is so important that our children not become ships without rudders, drifting aimlessly on the sea, carried by every wave hither and thither. When that happens, in most cases, it is a result of the parents failing. In almost all cases, there is no such thing as a bad child, but usually only bad parents. Now, I speak as a parent, and I know the hazards of raising children. And I know that sometimes we do We think everything right, and still we have problems. But then that is something we can overcome and work with and try to do better the next time. The battle is not over until that child leaves your authority, your headship of the family. And so as long as that child is in your presence, is with you, you must seek to indoctrinate, you must seek to instruct, and you must seek to direct in the ways that you would have them go. Because be advised, there are others out there who do not love that child, who will seek to foster, to instruct, to guide, and control. Now, if you by default turn over the minds of your children to those people, you know the results. So don't give them your children. One of the things that you could do, and I'm often asked, as I said, what can I do? Is if you have a television in your living room, do one of two things. Either have the wife sell it or at a garage sale, or you get your .38 out and shoot it. Now, you want to know what you can do. How much courage does it take to get a television out of your house? You don't have to go to the courthouse and march through the Federals. You don't have to go through the roadblocks and the blockades. You just have to control your own home. And you can do that. That's something you can do if you really want to do something. Or you can make 500 excuses why that television is bigger than you. But if you want to know why, when they're 18, they turn their back on you and they walk away from you and they say, my old man's crazy, it's because for 18 years you sat him in front of that glass toilet and let the Jews in Hollywood who hate Christ and the politicians in Washington who hate your children brainwash them. Their little minds, when they are born, is a tabula rasa, as they used to say in psychology class, a blank slate. Now, with a blank slate that has nothing on it, you may write anything you so wish. Am I not correct? So then the choice is for you, who's going to do the writing? Think about it. Are you going to let the Antichrist write upon that slate of your child's life, his future? Or are you going to write upon it? What can I do, Lewis? You don't need to ask that question anymore, do you? You know what you can do if you really want to do something and are not just pretending you want to do something. The choice is yours. It's often said to me that I am very intense. And I look so serious. But those who know me know that not only am I sometimes intense, and yes, I'm intense. I have reasons to be intense. We're talking about the future of our people, and that's an intense subject. But I also can laugh, can joke, and be friendly. You saw that this morning. And I also can enjoy the companionship of being with you people. When I say it is a great honor to be here this morning and speak to you. Those are not hollow words. Those are not some perfunctory statement that I make as a speaker. You are my people, and you've honored me by allowing me to have a few moments of your life to come here and speak. The honor is mine, not yours. We must be able to understand and get a hold on reality in life. Our society has become prefabricated and plastic, and many of us have become that way, and you don't need to be that way. You have been conditioned your whole life by the society that unfortunately we were raised in to be that way. But you don't have to be that way. You can think for yourself. You can really be you. As I am I. Don't worry about what their rules are. Worry about what your Father's rules are, who watches upon each one of us. Don't worry about what these other people out there expect of you. Worry about what you expect of you and what you want for you and what you want for your children, based upon the laws and principles and guidelines that have been given us by one much more astute and understanding and loving than society and those who make the rules that they tell us we must live by. I care not one whit what their rules are. The rules I live by and struggle to live by, and I don't always accomplish the mission. I fail, I'm just a man. But the rules I live by are written on my heart as they are written. Those are the rules to be concerned with. So love your children. Don't let them flush the psychological toilet in Washington and Hollywood and have it come up in your living room. Because that's all it is. There's sewage flowing into your living room. Don't let that. Give me love enough just to take that stinking, filthy box and toss it. Now, if there are some of you who say, I need the news, I need the information, well, fine. If you've got a basement, it goes there. If you've got a private room, it goes there. And when you get ready to go in there and you need that news, you need that information, turn it on, watch it, then turn it off, spit on it one time, and walk out. People, let us rejoice in life. Let us rejoice in our freedom, in the very breath that we take into our bodies. For where there is life, there is indeed hope. I testify to that. Where there is life, there is hope. Take time to smell the flowers. Enjoy them. They are so beautiful and wonderful. You smell them with your children or with your friends' children. Children don't wait. They'll soon be gone. It is so important that in our families we stand together as one so much as it is humanly possible. Some of you are nodding your heads and saying, well, you know, I'm only a human. And sometimes it's just not possible. But so far as it is possible, then stand together, pray together, believe together, fight together. Oh, fight. Oh, what? I'm a woman. I can't fight. I'm just a frail woman. I can't do anything. Some tell you something. There is a frail there is a frail, scared woman here who I'm married to, who, when the government of the United States placed a pistol to her head down in Mexico, the FBI, had the Mexicans do it, the Mexican federales, when they wanted me, they came for her. And this frail, loving mother, who I call wife, with a cocked pistol to her head, when asked to sign a confession saying that I had did all sorts of things that I hadn't done, that frail woman became stronger than I've ever been. Her name's Sheila. Would you like to stand, Sheila? Stand up, Sheila. Stronger than I've ever been. Hallelujah. So the battle is not just on one side. The battle is on both sides. And I'm here to tell you that America has some of the strongest women that this country has ever produced. And they're alive today. They're here in this room this day. And you're among them. And you are strong. You are not weak. And when you're called upon to stand for the test, you will stand. But she was strong, and I was strong in our hour of test and trial, because we both believe that someone up there cares. And I still believe that. Nothing's changed. In fact, it has been so proven to me that without doubt and without hesitation, I know He watches over us. He protects us in our hour of trial. We can stand on the promise. Just stand, stand, stand. You can. Enjoy the time with your families. When I got home from Fort Smith, Arkansas, having been tried for conspiring to overthrow the most evil, vile, despicable, filthy government on the face of the earth, and was found not guilty, which was a bad verdict in my opinion. In so much is what they are. They are those things, and I have been not guilty, but I have been blessed and honored by my Father to be allowed to war against those people in every way that this one man knows how. And so if the charge was, I want them out, then I'm guilty. For those of you who might be employed by the federal government, this should not be construed as confession of anything except despising your system of corruption and evil and Satanism and vileness, something that all good men should oppose, and I oppose it, and you oppose it, and soon there will be millions of our countrymen opposing it. let's get something straight. It is not the federal government that is on the offensive. They are not on the offensive. They are wading knee-deep in blood and cover-up. It is the people of the United States that are on the offensive, and we are everywhere. Before it's over with, the Federals will be wishing they were up there in them satellites. We have here today a perfect opportunity, by the grace of our Father, to come together in common cause. What is that common cause? Simply said, believe, obey, and serve. What could be more simple? Now, you already say you believe. The next step, of course, is to obey, and then you must serve. Each of us can serve in a different way. You don't have to do the things that I do to serve. Find someone you like. Find someone who has a ministry and get behind that person and support him. As we know, Pastor Peters is working on a great program where potentially he could reach millions of people. With your message, not his, your message. He's just a spokesman. He speaks the word of the Father, and you believe in that message. You think it's right. So what are you going to do to support that message? Don't think you can come here to this camp and then go home and say, well, I went to church camp. I'm good for a year. You must believe, obey, and serve. Help him get his message out. You can do that. What can I do, Lewis? That's what you can do. You can help. Never in any war that I've ever known are all of the soldiers on the front line. For instance, in Vietnam, for every one of us up front, there were 17 support personnel behind us, passing the food, passing the clothing, passing the ammunition, passing something. Pass Pastor Peters something. What have you got that you can pass? You know the answer to that. I don't know what it is. But whatever it is that you have that you can feed to the front where he's standing, give it to him. Will you? Don't leave us out there on the front by ourselves. Be with us. Be with us. Become part of the team that's going to take America back. For the first time in 24 years that I've been in the movement, I joined in 1969, a few months after returning from Vietnam. For the very first time, I have seen in the last year all kinds of people coming together under the same roof. Big roof, isn't it? It will hold all kinds of people, different beliefs, different conceptions of what is and what is not, different backgrounds, and different methods of conducting the attack. As we've gone from speaker to speaker, from room to room, we see that each person, each spokesman, had a different way of ramming that sword into the enemy. But it was a sword, and he's ramming. I had the great pleasure and honor to hear Mr. Isabel speak this morning, and his background, well, I won't dare say frightens me. Can't use that word. But his background of being 24 years a police officer, you know, first time I heard that and I looked at him, I was uncomfortable. But I went to his class today, and I had the great opportunity of listening to him speak the other night. And guess what? Spirit tells me, oh, I'm not a divinity or something like that. I'm just talking about his personal spirit, the way he conducts himself, and the way he speaks, and the way he thinks, tells me it doesn't matter what his background is. That man is a believer. He's one of us. And I am one of him. So we are not one, but now we are two. Are there more? Is there a third, a fourth, a fifth? Are you there? I thought so. You are there. And you are ready. We're not going to give it to them, are we? We're not going to let them take it from you, from your children, are you? You're not going to roll over and lay down for this world order, be it new or be it old, for any man, are you? Don't you have a rightful, lawful claim to this ground that you stand upon? Wasn't it your ancestors, your forefathers, that fought, died, and bled to give it to you? Are you going to yield it to these criminals? No. Can anybody say no louder? No. Now I believe you. No, we're not going to give it to them. Oh, they may come to take it, but it's going to be the worst day of their life. Amen. So for the first time in 24 years that I have been a part of this, we're seeing all sorts of people coming together, joining together for a common cause, a common belief. We know that the other side is wrong, don't we? Is there any doubt? If there is any doubt in your mind, you need to be out of this room and somewhere else. Because this room is full of believers, true believers. We're right, they are wrong. Say it. We are right. They are wrong. This is your country. Don't ever forget it. You must stand for something, or you will fall for anything. Have you got something to stand for? Yes, you bet you do. So we're going to stand. We're not going to lay down. We're not going to roll over. We're not going to bend the knee. We're not going to bow the head. Your country, your nation. And now for the police state. Federal terrorists, meaning FBI, ATF, police state officers, masquerading as law enforcement officers, are violating the rights, the property, and the liberty of our citizens, of ourselves, of our children, and of our future. Now remember that police state tyranny does not just rule over you, the citizen. It rules over the policeman. So there'll be many policemen who say no to it, just as you do. So because they wear a badge and a gun, it does not make them bad. Nor does it make them good. What will make them bad or good is whether or not they obey the heavenly laws given us and the law of our founding fathers. That's what will make them bad or good. Do I preach or speak of rebellion against lawful authorities? Absolutely not. For when they act outside of the bounds of the law that you have been given, that is written upon your heart and written upon the documents that this country is based upon, when they step outside of that, they are no longer a law officer deserving of respect, but a lawbreaker deserving contempt. And they then have no more authority over you than Genghis Khan if he wished to come running through that door on his horse and told you to turn over your wives and children. Would you do it to him? Would you give him your wives and children? Then why would you give these lawbreakers your wives and children, men? You must not. Not so long as you can humanly, possibly resist. And you must, we must, resist unto death, if that's what it takes. There are no bounds to the evil that these men in Washington and Hollywood represent. Their evil is endless. And I dare venture a statement that fully 70% of the people in this room do not really, truly understand how evil they are. You got to get right up next to them to know. Or you've got to have done a lot of studying and research, put a lot of time into books and into watching the events as they unfold around you. And some of us are too busy watching Dallas. Is that still on? Well, what's on now? What? Well, give me the name of a program. Different Faces. The Simpsons. I'm sorry. I chose to tune out. I'm sorry. You'll have to forgive me. I just turned it off. Well, not exactly. I shut it off. But it's off. Some of us have been guilty, too guilty, watching The Simpsons to find out what's really and truly going on in this country. In fact, some of us, maybe not so much the people here, because I know you're a select, elite people. You care. You came a long way. You love your children. I've seen that. But in general, many of us have been guilty of putting too much time into that, into The Simpsons, into television, and not enough times into our children and what's going on in their lives. We don't even know what's happening in the classroom. Hi, son. Did you have a good day at school today? Yeah, I did. That's all you know. That's all some people know. I know for many of you that's not true. But in general, that is so true, and you've seen it. You need to go to that person that you see like that, and you need to talk to the parent. And you need to warn them about what's happening there, and you need to encourage them to love their children enough to take control of his life. Don't give the schoolhouse the blank slate, because believe me, they'll write on it, and you won't like the report you get. Corruption beyond belief describes the government, and it's going to take strong men and women to oppose them. I've heard all of the different instructors explain, and the speakers and the teachers, about what the law is, and I've learned about Uniform Code, UCC, I think it's abbreviated. I've learned about the common law. I've learned about Admiralty Court and on and on. And gee, I find out there's 6 or 7 different kinds of law that perhaps I should be concerned with or want to avoid. But look, when you really get into this struggle, you're going to find out that there's one law in this country, and it's called the law of the M16, and they'll have it in your face, and what he says do, you will do. That's what rules in this country. Whatever they say it is, that's what it is. That's the law. They got the guns. They point them at you. They say you will lay down on your face. I'm telling you, don't try to quote the Constitution. Get on your face. Or work with me and Pastor Peters and Earl Jones and Pastor Weiland for a more beautiful, lovely, great nation where there are no men with guns kicking in our doors. Work with us. Help us. Join with us. There are so many instructors and teachers here today that are doing a wonderful, tremendous job. They want a better America, a better future, a better place for your children. Will you help them? If federal terrorism goes unchallenged by you, it will only get worse. If police state tyranny is not stopped now, it will grow stronger and bigger and meaner until it consumes you in its jaws. It will. So your choices then are really quite simple. It is fight and oppose it now, or suffer and die when there is no hope later. Is that a hard decision to make? Am I getting it across to you? Do you understand? You only have two choices. You can fight while you can, or you can wait till it's too late and cry and ask your wife to forgive you, and when that little child looks up at you and says, "But Dad, what did you do to stop this?" and you have no answer, what will you tell your children if that horrible day comes? Father, mother, what will you tell them? Don't tell me there are things more important than providing a future for our people. Our Father told us to have dominion. You can't do it hiding. If liberty is to be preserved, if freedom, if the right of free association is to be preserved, it will be because you preserve it. It won't be preserved if you're depending on me and Pete Peters. You understand that? It takes you. If it's preserved, you will get the credit for being the hero. You will be the person who should get the laurels. The flowers will be cast in front of your feet. And if it falls, if we lose those things, it is you who are responsible. That makes you uncomfortable. And when you get home tonight, and you lay down on that bed, you look up at that ceiling, the quietness of your room, just before you doze off to sleep. Ask yourself, am I doing the right thing with my life? And you answer the question. You don't have to tell me or anyone else anything. You will have to lay down tonight. You will have to look at that ceiling just before the eyes close. You must examine yourself. Because the battle will be won, and the battle will be lost with yourself, not with me. It is time for the enemies of our country, our law, our children, and our homes, and our property. It is time for them here, not time for you. Let them skirt the black, dark hole from whence they came. are children of light, of springtime, of flowers, of mountains, of valleys, of hill and dale and children and laughter. That is who you are. You're a wonderful folk, a wonderful people. Why fear any man on the face of the earth when our Father has given you all strength, all dominion, and all courage if you will but call it forth? You know, if I knew this were to be the last time that I were to speak or address an audience, and perhaps say the last time that I would walk upon this earth, I think that one of the greatest epitaphs that could be written about a man would be something along these lines. And it's the one I would want for myself. Not hero, not warrior, not famous man. It would be, he loved enough to care. That's all I wanted to say. And you know, when you pass from this world and on to the next one, and your loved ones are standing over that black pit they put you in, if I could be there as you passed on to glory, the thing I would most like to be able to write upon that stone where your name appears is, you loved enough to care. That's what I would like to be able to write more than anything else. We are going to be here but a short time. We are but sands upon the beach. There's a mighty ocean out there. We come, we see, and we go. But oh, how important it is that while we're here, that brief moment in time, that we live, we love, we believe, we obey, and we serve. So when it's all done, and you and I are going, we will be gone. My children's children will say, you loved enough to care. So as I try to have you remember me that way, and as I try to encourage, to promote, and to foster upon you the concept of behaving in such a fashion and conducting your life in such a fashion, we both have something to work for, don't we? Because unless I deserve that epitaph, let it not be written. And if my grandchildren grow up in slavery and you didn't stop them, don't expect me to write it on your tombstone. There will be no forgiveness if my children are made slaves. Not from this man. You apply upstairs. Perhaps he can forgive you, and I feel certain he can. But I am just a frail man with the mind of a man. And if my children are to know such a bitter fate, I cannot forgive you. Nor anyone else. I cannot forgive those who are coming to try to impose such a destiny upon those children. And let me tell you, whoever you are, if you are here, I ask for no quarter. Play your songs of Deguello. Let there be none given. For I come from the genes, the blood, and the heritage, and the belief of those who stood at the Alamo for what was right. And it is in my blood to also stand, and I will take no quarter from you, but you're free to beg for quarter from me. Because you see, it is we that are going to win. We will not be the downtrodden, the cast off, our heritage stolen. We will not be. We will be the victors. We're going to claim this country. We're going to claim our future. We're going to claim our heritage. We have a vision for the future. And it's a good vision. And it's the vision that we're supposed to have based on the law that we've been given. We are not evil. It is they. We are not wrong. It is they. And we will not cower. That is for they. So as we leave and we go our ways and our camp ends, and oh, too soon does it end. I have so enjoyed being with you people. It is such a great pleasure. You are wonderful people. You know, I spend a lot of my time with pretty rough, evil characters because of the type of life I live and what my destiny has been upon this earth. I'm around people I don't like a lot of the time. In fact, they make me ill at times. Terribly ill. Physically, that's not a joke. They actually at times cause my body to hurt from having to be near them. So when I get to come here and I get to be with you people, and I get to be around my people, it is such a blessing. You're good people. You are wonderful people. And may our Father shower His blessings down upon you and give you the strength and the courage you need to stand. Let our enemies know we will fight. We will have our country. You cannot have it. It is ours or nobody's. If we're not to trod this land, then nobody will trod this land. You cannot take it from us. We've already bought it. We paid for it with our blood, our lives, our children, our husbands, and our wives. You cannot have it. It is ours. We will fight. Say it. We will fight. We will fight. One last time. Let us rise. Let us fight. If you won't stand for anything, you'll fall for everything. Let us say it. We